What's up guys, T-Toad here back in with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to AFK farm an anime fighting simulator without destroying your laptop or PC. Now, the methods that I'll be covering in this video, I don't think you can use them on phone or mobile, so I'm sorry to all the mobile players out there. I really feel bad for you guys because I've experienced myself firsthand just how hot my phone can get. Um, it's gotten pretty hot before AFK on Roblox. So I can't help you guys out with that, but I can help you guys out with saving your laptops and PCs. Now, the reason why I decided to make this video is because I know a lot of people in the anime fighting simulator community that have very high-end PCs and laptops, and basically I feel like they're kind of destroying it, even though you spend a lot of money, like thousands of dollars, on those devices themselves, and they're kind of destroying it unnecessarily because if they knew about the methods that I'll be talking about in a bit, then their laptops and PCs would be surviving for much longer and they would be in much better health because these guys that are AFKing on their devices, they have a bunch of unnecessary stuff turned on, which I'll be showing you guys how to turn off and showing you guys how to manipulate Roblox as much as possible so that your laptop has to work the least amount of effort possible in order to run and AFK this game. So, first thing that I want to talk about is the FPS cap. So, as you guys can see on the top left corner of my Roblox client right now, you guys can see an FPS counter, and that is basically counting the frames per second that my laptop is loading for Roblox right now. Now, I think the default for everybody is 60 FPS unless you unlock your FPS in the past, which is even worse in that case. That's just going to make your laptop work even harder. The default is 60 FPS. Now, what I recommend you guys to do is set it to a very low number. Why? Well, because in this game, where 90% of the time you're AFKing, you really don't need a lot of FPS. You actually barely need any FPS at all in order to AFK farm this game because let's be real, most of the time you're just staying in one place and you're just doing this or this or this. I mean, and there can be exceptions made because if you guys are fighting bosses, you can set your FPS a little bit higher, but mainly if you're just AFKing for let's say 7 or 8 hours straight, right? And you're not moving at all, you're just planning on staying in the same place for the entire 8 hours, and you're just training one stat overnight. You really just need 10 FPS. So 10 FPS is the number that I'd set it for. But if you guys are fighting bosses, like I said, I recommend you guys setting it up to 30 FPS. I tried it before when the Kurama macro was, you could still macro Kurama. That was patched literally a couple hours ago. But I set my FPS to 30 back then, and I was still able to kill Kurama in like 20 seconds on average. So 30 FPS still very functional for bosses, but it also saves your laptop at the same time. And if you guys really think about it, 60 FPS or more is a lot for your laptop to load because if you think about it, I mean, your laptop has to render like, I don't even know, like 2 million pixels or something 60 times per second. And if you really think about it, that's like a ton of work for your laptop to be doing. So you really don't want your laptop to be doing that, especially for 8 hours long. And as you guys can see, let me pull this up. Where's it at? My playtime is literally 9 days. So that's like, I'm sorry guys, I'm wasting your guys' time, but I just really want to know. So that is 9 days is 216 hours. So I have a ton of hours on this game, guys. And if you're spending all that time on 60 FPS, trust me, guys, your PC components or laptop components are going to be worn out pretty quickly, and you guys do not want that. They're going to be overheating unnecessarily when all you guys need to be doing is just standing still. Okay, I mean, unless you guys want to stare at your screen for 8 hours long, and you want that smoothness of 60 FPS, but unless you guys want that, just do 10 FPS, guys. Um, and if you guys are wondering how to get the FPS cap, um, there are two different services you can install. There's Blockstrap and Fiststrap, and you can install either one to change your FPS cap. I recommend Fiststrap because I tried installing Blockstrap yesterday, and it just didn't go well because Blockstrap, I just couldn't find the FPS feature on there. I was looking for it for a pretty long time. I just couldn't find it. Then I switched over to Fiststrap and I found it instantly. So if you guys are wondering how to download Fiststrap, search up Fiststrap in the web browser, scroll down to GitHub, click on the GitHub, and then latest version is always going to be on the top of the page. And then you click on right here, the exe file, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to set your FPS cap on Fiststrap right after this. So search for Fiststrap, boom, click configure settings, go to global settings, and right here for you guys, as you guys can see, the frame rate limit. So you guys can input any number you want to cap your FPS at, like I said, 10 if you're just AFKing, if you want to fight the world bosses, and Karama 30 FPS. But yeah, that's it for the FPS. Let's move on to the next advice. Number 2, turn all graphics to the lowest setting. This one is extremely important. A lot of you guys probably already knew about this before. Main thing to turn on your graphics settings in Roblox is clicking escape, clicking settings, going all the way down here, and toggling your graphics quality to manual and putting it to the lowest setting. If you guys haven't touched this yet, the default is like automatic, I believe, and it's right in the middle here. So make sure you just click manual and put it down here. So it's the lowest possible graphic setting. Another thing is actually adjusting the graphic settings of the game itself. So go over to the settings in the game. So click on this gear cog here, go down to graphics, and switch on all the graphic settings here, so that it's better for your game. Low graphics mode, disable shadows, disable player effects. Just have all these things on. I just personally prefer to not have this on because I like seeing what champions other people have. I think that's it for the graphic setting. Again, you guys could also use fast flags to lower your graphic settings even further to potato graphics, but I mean, you guys can find that out for yourself. I'm too lazy to do that right now. Next thing we have to talk about is elevate your laptop back and put on wood surface. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to explain this using paint because I can't really explain this for you guys. I have to illustrate it for you guys. If you guys couldn't tell, this is just for laptop only. So, okay, let's say you have a table here, right? A flat surface, and then you have your laptop positioned right above it. Now, I'd say this is how 98% of people AFK on their laptop. Like, they just put their laptop on a flat surface. Now, if you guys believe it or not, this is actually the wrong way to be AFKing, and I'll explain it in a bit. First things first, I have to get out of the way that you should definitely not put your laptop on any soft material surface. Like, don't put it on a blanket or anything that's soft, like any cushions or anything like that. Make sure you put it on something that's hard and cold, like a wooden table or a metal table. Anything that's flat and it's hard, and preferably that it's cold. If you guys even want to, you guys can also just put it on the floor if your guys' floor is made out of wood. But like I said, guys, this is the wrong way to put your laptop on a table, and the reason why I say that is because let me just explain really quickly how the laptop works. So if you guys didn't know, there are multiple fans placed around a laptop. There are some fans placed on the bottom here called the intake vents, and then on the side called the exhaust vents. And so basically what these two fans do is they intake air in order to cool down the laptop components, and it also gets rid of that hot air that is made inside the laptop. And so that entire system makes it so that your laptop stays cool and it doesn't turn into a volcano. But what you're doing by setting your laptop flat on the table is you're basically suffocating these vents right here, right? Because if they're flat on top of each other, it looks like there's a lot of space here, but in real life, there's barely any space. There's like a centimeter or something in between the laptop base and the table. There's really like zero space there for laptop to inhale any air in, so it's working twice as hard in order to take in any air that it can, and there's just no air underneath there. But my advice for you guys is to elevate the laptop And the object that I use to do that is a book. So I'll take any book that I have lying around, put it down flat on the ground, and then I'll prop my laptop just like this so that it's bending like this. And so the edge of the laptop is resting on the edge of the book. And so as you guys can see, there's way more space here that the laptop can take in cool air. So there's way more space here compared to over here where the laptop can breathe in fresh, cool air, which will in turn cool down the components of the laptop way more easily. It's going to take in way more air. It's going to be exiting out way more air. Uh, Personally, I think I saw like a 10-degree drop in my temperature in my laptop's temperature, CPU temperature. If you guys don't know, that is huge. That's gonna save you like years for your laptop's life. I think that's it for this tip. Yep, cover that one. Number four is minimize the Roblox window. So basically, what that means, guys, is so whenever most people are AFKing, including me because I just found out about this yesterday, whenever most people AFK on their laptop or PC, they tend to have the Roblox client covering their entire laptop screen. And this is really bad because especially if your laptop screen is really big, that just gives your laptop even more pixels to render and it gives your laptop a lot of stuff to work on. Like it just gives your laptop a lot of work, a lot of stuff to process, right? Um, I mean, my laptop screen is decently big, and as you guys can see, my Roblox client is covering the entire screen, so it has to factor in and render all of these details here. But in order to make sure that your laptop works less, what I recommend you guys doing is minimizing the Roblox client, and you press these two squares at the top to do that. So as you guys can see that some of the desktop here, there is considerably less space that the Roblox client is taking up on my laptop. And so what that allows my laptop to do is it just gives it less pixels to render. It makes it work less basically because it doesn't have to render um, the entire screen because before it had to create pixels here on the left and on the right here, but now it's just reduced to this small square here. If you guys can minimize it even further than this, go ahead because that's just going to make your laptop even better. Um, that's for the minimizing tip. Bleh. Um, Number five is zoom into the ground. Okay, so what I mean by that is whenever you're at a training area and you're AFKing, right? Let's say I'm just training strength, for example. Usually, I mean, people don't even think about this twice, but usually they just leave their Roblox camera facing some random direction. It's facing some random things. It's just facing the world. And so, um, I mean, this is kind of like a small detail, but like if you guys really want to maximize your laptop's life and health, I recommend you guys doing this tip as well. But basically, what people normally do is they have their camera facing the entire world, and it's rendering all of these objects. But in order to make your laptop work even less, what I recommend you guys doing is just looking straight down at the ground. And as you guys can see, my laptop is working way less because it's literally just looking at one solid color and there's literally nothing to render. Okay, so I'm gonna experiment right now. So basically what the experiment is gonna consist of is basically I'm gonna not use any of the things that I talked about in this video. So I'm gonna keep my FPS cap at 60. I'm gonna keep my screen full screen. I'm gonna also be setting my graphics quality to here, which is default mode. What else am I gonna do? Let's see. Is there anything else that I missed? That's right. I'm also going to make sure my laptop is on top of a blanket and that it is flat on the table, which is horrible, by the way. Guys, never do that. But just for the sake of this experiment, guys, I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be testing what temperatures my laptop CPU reaches whenever I do all of that, and then I'm going to be testing afterwards. I'm going to be applying all the modifications and the tips that I gave you guys in this video. I'm going to be using all of them, and then I'm going to be testing my CPU temperature right after that, and I'm going to be comparing the CPU temperatures of the two different experiments. And I guarantee you guys, the CPU after I use all my tips is going to be like 10 degrees Celsius colder. It's going to be a lot better. Alright, y'all, I just finished macroing for like 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna be showing you guys the temperatures right now. So the temperature for my processor is 67 degrees Celsius. That's actually lower than I expected because I was expecting it to go up to like 70 degrees Celsius at least. But whatever. So those were with all the settings that I told you guys not to use, and now I'm gonna be applying all the settings that I told you guys to use. Alright, y'all, I just came back after 5 minutes or so, and let's check out the CPU. Um, Alright, so like we already saw before, with all the horrible, unpreferable settings, we got 67 degrees Celsius. But with these new settings right here, we got 53 degrees Celsius as the max. Now, if you guys didn't know, the difference between 53 degrees Celsius and 67 degrees Celsius is practically huge. Now, to be real though, 67 degrees is actually not that hot for a laptop. I'd say maybe 85 or higher is hot for a laptop, but 67 isn't that bad. But you're still using a laptop, and the laptop is getting pretty hot at 67 degrees. But at 53 degrees, at that temperature range, your laptop is practically being idle. Like it's literally barely working at all just to keep Roblox open. And you guys can imagine that I was using powers and it got to only 53 degrees Celsius. So imagine if I wasn't using powers at all and I was just AFK farming, just like strength or chakra or something like that. And I was doing only that. And I also added the extra tip that I was looking at the ground. Then the CPU temperature there probably would have been like 40 or something. I don't know, just throwing it out there for you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope this saves your guys' laptops and PCs health so that you guys don't have to replace the power supply. Because I personally have a friend that I know he had to replace his power supply because he played Anime Fighting Simulator Endless and he literally AFK'd on there for like days on end on his PC, and he had to replace his power supply. Unfortunately, because um, AFKing on this game can be very, very heavy. Even if you do have a very powerful PC, still though, it does take a huge toll on your device to be running this game on for like days on end. Literally, like I have 9 days playtime on this game. Um, but if you turn on these settings that I told you guys, then you guys will be good, and it will save your guys' laptop's health by 10 years or something. Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys.